3 ways to get a DUI in Indiana. We all know that in Indiana, a DUI, OVWI mean the same thing. But there are 3 separate and distinct ways to get a DUI in Indiana. The first one is just being intoxicated while driving. Now, what does intoxicated mean? In Indiana, intoxication means that there's an impaired condition of thought or action and the loss of normal control of a person's faculties. What does that mean? Basically, you're acting weird, you're falling down, you're stumbling, you can't grab things correctly. This is what the officers are looking for when they stop you. Were you fumbling to get your license and registration, meaning you didn't have dexterity? Did you get out of the car? Did you have to pull yourself out? Did you turn the car off before you stepped out of the car? Just basically a deviation from how a person normally acts. This is why officers are always asking people to do the stupid human tricks, which we call standardized field sobriety tests. Complete garbage, but they're trying to have you stand on one leg, take 9 steps down, 9 steps back. And the eye test, they're basically trying to see if you have a impaired condition of thought, can you follow directions, or the loss of normal faculties. Were you able to walk in a straight line and count 9 and come back and count 9? Were you able to keep your hands at your side, or were you raising them like a little bird? That's what the officers are trained to look for. That's all they need. Now, you don't need a number, you don't need a blood test to prove someone guilty of intoxication. However, it's much more difficult for the state if there's not a number, if there's not a blood lab saying that there's drugs in a person's blood. Very, very hard to prove for the state, as long as you have a good attorney. Now, that's the first way. The second way is if somebody has a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or greater. So there's an enhanced penalty for 0.15 or greater, but if there's a person's blood alcohol content is at 0.08 or greater, that's the second way to get a DUI. And so that's what we're typically thinking, blowing into the machine, ECIR2, or getting a blood test, and they're testing the blood. They're trying to see if your blood alcohol concentration is at 0.08 or greater. Again, this is a separate and distinct way to get a DUI in Indiana. You could be stone cold sober, pass all their tests, back and forth, one leg up, and the officer takes your breath or blood and it comes back 0.08, you're still going to get charged with a form of DUI. The third way to get a DUI in Indiana is if you have a controlled substance or the metabolite of a controlled substance in your blood. What does that really mean? Well, if you do recreational drugs and you drive and you get pulled over and they take your blood and then they find out that this person did cocaine a week ago, technically that's a DUI. If they take your blood and they find out you have active metabolites of marijuana in your blood when you're driving, that's going to be a DUI. It doesn't really matter if you're intoxicated or not. Indiana penalizes just having the drug or the metabolite of the drug in your blood. So those are the 3 separate ways to get a DUI. If you have any questions, give us a call, 317-632-3642. I would love to talk about DUI law all day. It's actually my passion. The most important thing, though, is to remember, always plead the 5th.